Good morning, everybody. It's time for another spring. Well, yeah, we're still spring garden tour. Just because things have been really growing. I think I did the last tour 2 or 3 weeks ago when things were just first transplanted or just getting started. Um, but I wanted to take you along because things are really starting to get exciting in the garden. Let me flip you around and we'll go on a walk. I'm starting up on the deck, and I think the last time was when I first transplanted these. But since then, this is the chamomile. It's about to start blooming. Let me see if I can get it to focus. So that's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And then what I do with this is just pick the flowers every once in a while and then just dry them. I have a small dehydrator, and then I put them in a tea tin, and I like to drink it for tea. So chamomile's doing good. This is a rosemary plant that I picked up at the store, just because when I found out that I had 2 empty pots with nothing planned for them, I said, well, that's not happening. So I decided to get a rosemary plant. My husband likes rosemary, so we decided to get that. The basil's doing okay. Has a little bit of sun damage. I think that's what that is. But they'll bounce back. That's totally fine. And they're doing good. That's Genevieve's basil. Thyme is doing well also. It's the first time that I've actually grown this successfully from seed. So I'm excited for that. That's the thyme. This is the parsley. I think you have to try really hard for parsley not to grow well. So that one's doing really good. This is the borage. This is new for me. I've never grown it before. It looks huge. I don't know how big this plant is going to get. And I realize that I put 2 in one pot. We'll see how that goes. I may have to move it out. I'm just not sure how. What's this? Oh, just a stick. I'm not sure how big it gets. I should probably look that up and figure something out if I need a plan B. This is mint. So we'll check that that's true. Yeah, that's the mint. That's the lemon balm. Everything looks good. No, it did there. What is that? Oh, it's another little mint. All right, so that's mint. This is the other one that we bought at the store for the second empty pot. This is chives. Now, okay. In this one, let me get closer. I had 2 Thai basils. This was the first one. It clearly did not make it. This is not Thai basil. I think this is. And it had a little bit of die off, but now it seems okay. Like if I try to rub the leaf and smell it, I think that's the Thai basil. This is an imposter. I don't know what it is. It looks like lettuce to me, but I'm going to leave it there and see what happens just because I'm curious. But Thai basil, not looking great. I might start some new seeds. I still have some, and just throw them in the pot here and see what happens. And then I seeded dill in here, but there hasn't been any movement yet, but that's okay. We'll give them a minute. All right, let's go down to the main event. There hasn't been much movement on this side just because I just planted everything, but everything is still alive. Everything is looking well. The clover over there, you can see that it's starting to germinate, which is awesome. That whole area is eventually going to look like this border here, like all that clover, which I love. It looks so green and lush. So that's what that's going to look like for the foreseeable future. We just have to baby it, make sure that it gets, enough water and stuff. It rained overnight last night. Look at the grass. Grass is happy too. All right, let's get up here. Oh, look. I love spider webs. They work so hard. Let me go on the other side, take a closer look. I don't see any spiders in there, so don't worry if anybody gets triggered. But one trivia, cool thing about spiders is that when they build their webs, they have some sticky spots and some non-sticky spots. And they know which ones are the non-sticky ones. And they walk along those ones and they let the bugs that they trap in these get stuck in the sticky ones. But they navigate around their webs walking along the non-sticky paths, which I thought was really smart. They're smarter than we think, guys. All right, so let's start. Let's start with the berries, I guess, since we're right here at the front. All right, blueberries are looking good. Lots of blooms falling, but that is normal. Oh, Bob is there again. Every time I come up here, let's get Bob on camera. How cute he is. It's adorable. He works hard. He works so hard, the little bee. He had a buddy here the other day. There were two of them. Anyway, I won't disturb him. Let me go over here. What I wanted to show you is that when the blooms fall, which is a normal part of pollination. Hold on, I'm trying to find an example. I saw it really clearly on the other plant. All right, Bob, I might have to give you the boot. Or we'll just have to share this plant together. So that when the blooms fall, okay, here's a good example. When the blooms fall, it starts to grow. See all these little things? These are the beginnings of the blueberries. So normally the blooms fall typically indicates pollination and that it no longer needs any visits, and then it starts growing the fruit underneath. Yes, Bob. Yes, he's a star. Look at him. It's adorable. Okay, anyway. So I thought that was really cool. And growing fruits are new for me, so I had to look. I've been doing a lot of reading to figure out, like, why are all my blooms falling? Perfectly normal. And it's to make way. It's to make way for the growing of the little blueberry fruits underneath there. It's going to be tons. All right. The raspberries are also doing well. There was some growth on these ones too. Let me see if I can find what I was spotting yesterday. Yeah, like all of these little things. This is all new growth. And these things grew a lot from last year. Last year was the first year that we planted them. We bought them as plants. And they really grew a lot. And we've got like extra plants. They spread by throwing runners underneath the soil. It's not like they have anywhere to go. This is the bed they're going to live in. If they end up, I doubt that they would grow underneath, but hey, you never know. If they do, I'll pull those. But I figured I'll just leave these extra plants grow and we'll see what happens. So that's blueberries, raspberries. Let's jump over here. These are the blackberries. Oh, weeds. I have to weed these. I have to weed this bed. Interesting fact though, this is lamb's quarters. It's an edible herb. Tastes really good. Throw it in salad, stir fry it. Anywho, I digress. So this is the first blackberry. It was a little slower than the other one. I didn't prune anything out just because I wasn't sure what to prune or how to prune it. But looking at it now, pretty sure I can get rid of this branch. Anyway, I'll deal with that another day. But blackberries are finally leafing out, which is promising and looking good. That's blackberries, and now look at the strawberries. They're doing really good. And this is that mesh, that netting that I have that just to cover them because the birds were going to town last year, and I just want to protect them. And it's light, like it's not interfering with the plants at all. It just lays on top of it, doesn't interfere. Sometimes we'll have some of the blooms that pop out and grow outside of it. I just tuck them back in, but it's fine. But these look amazing. And even these little extra plants that popped up, I snipped the runners after they rooted and I just left them there just to see what would happen. There's even blooms on those. So that's exciting. There's another one there. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to see. Looks like we're going to have a lot of berries. Strawberries don't need bees to pollinate them. They're self-pollinating. So that's why it's okay to keep these under netting. For the blueberries, I will cover them with mesh once Bob is done. Once Bob's done pollinating everything. I was watching a video yesterday, and apparently each blueberry bloom needs about 5 to 8 visits from a bee to ensure pollination. And like every time I've been out here, Bob the bumblebee, sometimes with a friend, has been busy flying around those blooms over there. Anyway, he's doing a good job. Hardworking. Check out the potatoes. To me, this is exciting. I've never grown potatoes before. I'm assuming they look good because they're nice and dark and green and lush looking, but I didn't. I'm going to assume that this is what they're supposed to look like. And everything looks good. I'm excited to see, like, to me, it's the first time I'm growing potatoes at home. If I get one potato in my first year of growing them, to me, that's a success. But I'm obviously hoping for more, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So far, potatoes are looking awesome. Marigolds settling in, doing their thing. All right, onions. Now, onions are doing well. However, I noticed less success on this side, which are the red onions, versus the yellow, which is fine. First time growing them, might just not be a good variety here. I have no idea. But you know what? We're still going to have plenty of onions to keep us busy, to keep us through the next few months. So those are onions. Come back on this side. This is the garlic bed. They're starting to yellow, which is good. It's the perfect time. And I keep taking a peek because we should be seeing the garlic scapes coming up soon. And that's those little stalks that come up from the center and shoot up a bloom. And it's that hard stem that curls on itself. I like to eat those. I like to make garlic scape pesto because it's so good. You have to be a garlic fan though, because it's pretty strong. It's pretty pungent, but it's really, really good. I'm just trying to see if I can see any, because usually it's around mid-June that the scapes would come up and harvest, but I don't see any. Let me take a look here. I am not seeing any evidence of them yet, but things were kind of late this year. It's kind of a strange spring, but that's okay. All right, check out the lettuce. So this was the bed where I built the bean teepees. Those are there, but the lettuce is still going to grow, and we'll just keep harvesting the lettuce while the beans start germinating and growing up these teepees. Ah, look. This makes me so happy. It looks so good. Lettuce loves cool weather. It's a cool weather crop. This is the butter crunch lettuce. It just looks so good, and it's so like crisp. It's amazing. And the beans have started to pop up. The first teepee is the Scarlet Runner. So I noticed this yesterday. I posted a sneak peek on Instagram. There's another one here. Is that a bean? I don't know if that's a bean. It might be. Let's see on this side. Yeah, this one has beans. There's another one there hiding. This is the Grand Rapids. This really bounced back. This is the corn salad, which doesn't get very big, so we should probably start eating that one. There's a marigold in there. And then the second teepee. This is where the arugula, one batch of arugula was. So we've harvested this. I'm not going to plant anything else in here other than the beans. Now there's a nice one. That's a nice bean. Now on this teepee, it's the Blue Lake variety. Checking to see if anything else came up. So far, just one, and that's okay. And I think, like, to me, that looks like a lettuce. And there was lettuce grown in this bed last year. So I wonder if there was just a seed in there. There's a couple of these plants that either didn't germinate and they decided to wake up this year. I don't remember any going to seed last year, because that would also explain why there's these mystery seedlings popping up. There's a couple here too. Like, this is not a bean. This to me looks like a lettuce, and this too. So we'll see. This is an old stem from an arugula. But we have bean growth there. And then here too. Bean seedlings are pretty obvious because it's like the bean actually pops up, germinates, and like you can tell what it is. There's some seedlings that are, what is this? It's hard to tell. There's a couple here. There's this guy and that guy over there. Oh, and this one. This one's pretty obvious. It's pretty cool. I love it. It's so satisfying. And this is the romaine. Remember how sad the 3 romaine seedlings looked when I transplanted them and I wasn't sure if I was going to transplant them or not? They look great. Patience. We just need patience. That's all it is. All right. Turnips. So in this bed, we've got turnips and carrots, which clearly I have to thin these. I've been stalling, really. but I should thin them because that's a little too a little too dense. I'm gonna get like long stringy carrots if I leave it that way. So I'll probably thin those in the next few days. But the turnips are looking great. Let me see if I can peek under there and find one. Yeah, there's a nice one. Hold on, let me see. Let's get that ugly leaf out of the way. That's cool. So this is going to be fun. I like to eat turnips, just regular roasted. But I also like to make those pickles that you find in Middle Eastern dishes. They're those pink, bright pink pickles. Love those. So that's probably what I'm going to make with this first batch of turnips here. And then the carrots. Carrots, no real growth yet, but maybe I'm just weeding. And I did plant these really thick. So I'm going to need to thin these for sure. But everything came up. Everything looks really good. And I don't know what it is, but to me, the trick with carrots is just keeping everything moist. I know people have said, plant your seeds, put a piece of wood over it. I don't have pieces of wood like around, so I just make sure that they stay moist. And if that means watering every day, even if it's just a little bit, that's what I do. And I've never had problems with carrots coming up. Mind you, I guess I don't live in a dry climate, so if you did, maybe something like that would help. But anywho, carrots and turnips looking good. And check out the peas. So the peas, I'm expecting to start seeing blooms on these guys pretty soon. And we all remember what happened with the peas. I had planted them. I had planted the first batch of seeds at the end of March. And then we had some really weird weather. It was cool, and I think it just stunted the germination of that first batch. And then I was too impatient. So after like 2 weeks, I said, with no movement, no germination, I was like, oh. So I ended up buying more peas, thinking that my seeds weren't viable, because I did have them for a few years. And I planted a second set. And then sure enough, maybe 3 days after that, everything started germinating. So we're gonna have a lot of sugar snap peas this year. But you know what? It's not really a problem, is it? Oh, we have too many peas. Nobody says that. So we're just gonna have a lot of peas. We're gonna enjoy it and call it a day. Every once in a while, like I'll come over here and help them grip. They're so grippy. Look at that. They just hang on. They hang on for dear life. Just want to make sure that they hang on to each other as well. So even though like I plant a row of like two peas and follow the trellis, if you had a simpler trellis, they just hang on to each other and then they grab the trellis later. Pretty tough plants. I'm checking to see if I see any blooms on here, but I don't just yet. But it should be soon. Checking. No. Should be soon though. And the trick with peas is planting them in enough time that the blooms won't get hit by frost, which I think we're well past that now. But that's the thing. The plants themselves can handle the cold, can even handle some frost. It's the blooms that can't. So as long as you're planting them, you can plant them early and they'll germinate when it's ready. But then once they start growing, if they bloom and there's a frost, it's best to cover them up, because it's the frost that kills the blooms. All right. This was the bed that I reserved for melons, and they finally came up, which is exciting. You can see the little seedlings there. And to increase my odds of success, I planted like 6 seeds in each thing. I will thin them out. But I haven't had good success with melons, so I'm going to let them germinate, let them grow a bit, and then I'll thin out the the weaker ones. I'll keep the strong ones. Yeah, they're doing okay. This one's just starting, and then there's another little batch here. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Like, anyway, I want to grow cantaloupe, you guys. I want to grow it successfully. Again, this is another one that if I get one melon out of this bed, I will call it a success, because I just haven't had good success with growing melon before. Here are the tomatoes. Everybody's doing well. Remember, there was one seedling that did not survive the transplant. It's the fourth one over here. Well, it was the fourth one over on this side. But let me just take a closer look at everybody here. Everybody looks good. A little bit of sun damage. It's fine. You won't even notice these leaves. In a couple of weeks, they're going to be so overgrown. So here, it was the fourth one. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a celebrity slicer tomato that I bought at the store. Because the seedling that I have inside, it's not, it was really tiny and it just doesn't seem like it's going to pick up anytime soon. So I said, instead of having a gap in the garden, perish the thought, instead of having a gap, let me just pick up a tomato, a start at the store and plop it in. So we're going to have one oddball. This is going to be a slicer. It's a Celebrity Plus, I think it was. Oh, there's a little bit of sun damage here too. Just noticed. But again, that's fine. It will grow more leaves. It will survive. All right, let's go over to the other side. Oh, and while we're here, I did a good cleanup of this border here. And it's not like there was that many weeds there, but it was the clover that kind of grew over. But all the lavenders, this little lavender hedge came back, which is pretty exciting. So that's going to be cool. And I feel like once the lavender plants grow, take up their full size, it'll keep the clover back, I think. I'll have to see. I'm unsure. Yeah, and this goes all the way around the area. Continues on the other side. Sorry, Bob, if you're still in the blueberries. Let's see. Yeah, they all came back, which is awesome. I'm really happy about that. All the little lavenders. I did a good cleanup a few days ago, just this whole border. So that's cool. All right, we did the garlic. I have a problem area, which we're gonna get to. It's in this bed. This is green onion, which if I come down and look this way, you can see them better. They look like little hairs. It takes them a while to grow. And there's a couple of weeds in there too, but that's all good. We'll just get rid of those. Anywho, deal with that another day. But yeah, all the green onions are coming up. All right. These were the turnip seedlings that I had inside that I kept in longer than I should have. Mainly because I was going to put them in here, but this took longer as well. And I think it's because of the cooler temperatures, things just took a little bit longer to kick in. So I probably should have moved these out sooner. At the time, I didn't have a spot for them. This is where the second batch of arugula was, which we harvested, I want to say, like a week ago now, maybe 5 days. So they are struggling a little bit. Now, I'm going to give them about a week to see if they bounce back. If they don't, I'm just going to seed new turnips in this spot. It's not the end of the world. There's still plenty of time. It's the beginning of June. So there's still plenty of time for them to have a full growth cycle. I was hoping to get ahead and have turnips sooner, but things happen. And then these are the radishes. I harvested one radish yesterday, 2 days ago, when I harvested the spinach, and it looked so good. But I'm seeing, like, I snipped off, this was a bloom stalk. They're starting to bolt, and I think it's because we've had a few warm days, and radishes are a cool season crop, which they don't like the warm days. Anyway, there's a lot of them that are doing well, though. I'm trying to see if I can find any more. I harvested like the most perfect radish a few days ago. It looked really good. All right, and this is my covered bed. This one has bok choy, napa cabbage, and the new spinach. I harvested all the spinach. I call it the cool weather spinach and the warm weather spinach. The cool weather spinach was harvested a couple of days ago, mainly because I wanted to get the warm spinach, the warm seedlings out. These are them here. This is the New Zealand spinach, and I wanted to. This was all part of that objective of finding a green that I can grow during the warm summer months. And I discovered New Zealand spinach. I never knew that there was a spinach that prefers warm temps. So this is going to be exciting. The seedlings look okay. It was a little bit of yellowing, but I'm hoping that now that they're in the ground here and getting a little bit more nitrogen, that they'll be okay. But that's the spinach. These are the Napa cabbages, which look amazing. They look like little rosettes. Aren't they pretty? Don't mind the clover. I see little clovers in there. They look great. And then these are the bok choys. Let's see if you can see these properly. These are the bok choys. I've always had really good success with bok choy. And I like it with, just chopped up and stir fried. Super nice. It's a nice green. And that looks really good. And I think that, let's do the trees while we're here. So things are in bloom. It's so exciting. Let me start on the left. Oh, and I'll show you our rhubarb. Our rhubarb. I've called it rhubarb. Notice a bob pattern. Anybody in my garden is named Bob. So this is the rhubarb. It's doing well. We just planted it a couple weeks ago. We can't harvest this year. It'll be next year. But it's doing fine. This is our first pear tree. It's looking good. It's healthy. This one too. This is the second pear tree. Looking good. I think I saw blooms on this one earlier. Did I? I thought I did. I could be wrong. This is an apple tree. It's happy. This is the second one. This is the one that's been blooming. Looks so pretty. It's a little baby tree. Yeah, they're starting to fade now. The blooms. That just started. These blooms up there. It's pretty. So pretty. All right, apple. These two are questionable. I'll get to those in a second. This is one of the plums. This did have blooms on it a little while ago. It had some here. Yeah, the petals have fallen off now. So that's one of the plums. This is the second plum. Now, this did not leaf out. Let me see. I don't know if you can see that. It's got some green on it, but no growth. So I'm wondering if perhaps the buds got damaged with the cold weather that we had. Possibly, not sure. And the same deal with this one. This is the nectarine, where it's like it started budding. Let's see if I can focus that. Hold on. Let's see. Like it started, and then I think there was a cold snap. I think that's what happened. Because when I scratch the trunk, like when I scratch it, there's green underneath. So it's not dead. But I think it was just damaged by the cold. So we'll see what we're going to do with that one. And then this is the peach tree, which I don't know if you can see that with the glare. There was pink blooms all over this guy. Yeah, you can still see them there. So pretty. So far, 6 out of 8 is not too bad. We'll have to decide what we want to do, if we just want to give these two another year and see if they bounce back, and it was just they had bud damage this year because of the cold. I'm just not sure. I'll talk to our landscaping folks and see what they suggest we do with these two. But still, I don't think anybody's going to produce this year because they're still establishing and it's still early. They're young trees. But the fact that they're alive and blooming is a good sign. All right, folks, that is pretty much, was there anything else I wanted to tell you? I don't think so, but everything is looking really good. I'm excited. I'm excited to have like a fully green and growing garden this year. And temperatures look good from here on out. So that's awesome. Right now we're eating arugula. We're going to be eating the spinach that was harvested. Pretty soon we're going to have peas. they're going to bloom. They're going to start blooming and producing, and that goes really quickly. And then it's like peas every 2 days. And then lettuce, we're going to start harvesting those, just the leaves, and just leave the heads there. So we're going to start harvesting the lettuce, radishes, turnips, and then the summer stuff is going to kick in. It's exciting. All right, folks, that is the tour for today. Hope you had a good time. I know I did. I'm super excited. All right, have a great day, guys. Take care.